Hello and welcome to another episode of... I should do that over.
Yeah.
Like Halloween it.
Yeah. Hello.
Welcome to another episode of Streaming Without a Paddle. Did that work?
That was good.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Ted. And this is a spooky episode.
We're in the heart, the beast of Halloween. This is number 2 in a row.
You got 2 more, buddy.
Last week we did Salem's Lot, the remake, and this week we tapped into Hulu's original, about 83 minutes runtime, and its unassuming title, Mr. Crocket.
Yeah, it's a, I went into this movie being like, this is so stupid looking. And then I watched it and I was like, I don't know, it's pretty good. Pretty effective. I enjoyed it. Let me tell you what it's about. Mr. Crocket is like a Barney character, like a Mr. Rogers sort of character.
There you go.
Children's show host. And these kids that have, when their parents yell at them or are abusive, Mr. Crocket comes to life from the videotape like a demon and comes in and helps the kids and then captures the kids and takes them back to the playland as his children.
Which is his basement.
Yes.
And this is where I was confused. And I got the suspicion, the feeling, the belief that, because you get about, 80% of the way through this, and there's this scene in the basement, and he's telling this story, and it's his story.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just guessing, because in his story, the police come in because he's kidnapped a kid. I mean, I'm not. I mean, this. I don't know what else to say here. Anyway, they come in and there's he gets killed.
There's a shootout. And he jumps in front.
Stabbing.
Yeah, I mean, he killed. You've ruined the movie now, so we might as well just tell him the whole thing. You've ruined the movie.
No. So I take it that Satan has come to him and revived him.
He says that.
So okay, all right.
Yeah, I know. He goes, I went to hell and I made a deal with the devil.
Yeah, I know. I got that part, but I didn't know. It was just difficult for me to follow, okay? I don't know if it was because because this isn't my jam. Again, it's horror, and this isn't really horror.
It's pretty horror. It's about
you think?
It's about a videotape that comes to life and crawls into the real world and kills people. It's like The Ring, but instead of the Samara girl in The Ring, it's a children's show host.
What was that series that we watched? And I don't know. It might not have been a series. It might have been a movie where the pizzeria, Frank's Pizza, and it's got the animatronics and.
Oh, you're talking about Five Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay, this is on that level of horror. Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay, it's not Freddy Krueger. It's
Five
not
Nights
Jason.
is better.
It's not Salem's Lot horror.
That's that good stuff.
This is. I don't want to call it animated, but
it's animated.
It's animated horror. It's like, okay, what if Ted the stuffed bear comes alive kind of thing?
Yeah.
All right. So anyway,
Andrew's a huge fan of that genre, that subgenre.
Well, Ted's okay.
Ted's funny.
Ted's funny. That's my kind of animal coming to life.
I thought this was a cool movie.
All right, so we got this all straightened out. Yes, he's cut a deal. He's killed by the cops, but he cut a deal with the devil, and which goes to the point. Why is he in hell? For kidnapping the kid that he thought was being abused?
And that is the only part that lost me. I was like, what?
I mean, why is that? I mean, is that hell worthy?
He was a crazy person, though. You remember when it showed him doing the actual show before, not the fictional? He's a crazy person.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, there's no question there. He's a psychotic Mr. Rogers. There's no question there. But, what did he do that was so bad other than being not nice? I mean, I don't think he really kidnapped a kid because, well, you know what happens with the kid.
Yeah.
And then what does he do to the kid? Yeah, exactly. Now he deserves a place in hell, right?
Yeah.
So all right. So there we go. We jumped right into this. We
Episode over. 5 minutes shortest episode we've ever had.
Just eat the steak before we touch the potato.
Yeah. Did you like any of the performances?
I thought the acting in this movie was good.
Yeah.
Everybody. And I can imagine that being an actor in this type of movie, you've really got to bring a game, because if you don't bring the game, it will show.
Well, yeah, because it's not a good script.
Right.
So you have to be a good actor.
Now,
Shout out to my boy Alex Moore for playing the heroin-addicted dad that yelled at his daughter. He was awesome.
And let me kind of explain this. Again, it's called Mr. Crocket. It's on Hulu. Now, it's actually... I don't know how to put this. Apparently, Hulu back in 2020 ordered a series called Bite Size Halloween.
Yeah, they're all like 65 to 80-minute horror movies.
Right. They're little vignettes, and this was one of them. I think it was, episode 11 in season 3.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. And it had a runtime of 6 minutes, and then... I'm just
6 minutes?
6 minutes. Yeah, it was one of the longer ones.
Okay.
I went through and kind of looked at them and going, okay, to get an understanding of...
Wait, this was a short?
This was a short first, back in 2022. So I'm taking it and matter of fact, the actors are all different.
Oh, Mr. Crocket wasn't Mr. Crocket?
Well, Elvis... I don't want to. I've got to look at it because I don't want to disrespect Elvis. Noel Asco.
I don't know.
He played Mr. Crocket in the movie Mr. Crocket, but he didn't play Mr. Crocket in the short. So Cecilia Friday played the lead in the short. And in the lead in this one was played by, I got to get back to the right page here. I've lost it. Jakara Hinton was Summer, the lead in this one. So they recasted a short.
Wow, I just looked it up.
Yeah, so no, it was a short. It was a 6-minute horror film. So I'm just guessing that Brandon, the director there, writer-director, I don't know how I've gotten myself so discombobulated here. Anyway, Brandon Espy wrote and directed the short, and I guess they went to Hulu and said, hey, let's turn this into a full-length feature. So, Ted, I'm going to be honest with you. I got into this movie about 25 minutes, and we have I guess I should explain this before I go farther. We kind of have a thing at our household when something happens on the positive note. We take a line from 2.5 Men. There's a scene where Alan is at the mechanic with his 22-and-a-half-year-old girlfriend, Candy, because it's just burnt up. And so the mechanic, who's an older guy in his 50s, whatever, I forget who plays him, was trying to explain to Alan, this car's dead. And anyway, he refers to Candy as Alan's daughter. He said, well, your daughter's car. He goes, that's not my daughter, it's my girlfriend. Good for you, is what he says.
Okay.
What is she, 21? 22? And Candy chirps up and goes, 22 and a half. And the mechanic goes, good for you. Okay?
Is that how you feel about them getting to make this movie?
I do. That's where I was going. Good for you, Brandon. That's what I'm going to say that. I don't mean that in a bad way. I think that's awesome. I think it's a good break. But that's how I felt about this. I don't want I don't want to go into, and it got better as it went on from a production standpoint. And I don't know, it was just sort of, the story was so choppy at the beginning. There were scenes were so long, and then it was separated.
Let's just get this production talk.
So I was like, Brandon, good for you.
I thought that all the puppets and the set for the children's show and then the alternative Bizarro set for the children's show, I thought all that looked good.
I'm not going to disagree with you. I mean, I thought production value was good. I mean, I don't think it was well directed or written in the first part of the movie. It got a little better.
I don't think it was written well.
I don't.
Period. I don't see any problem with the direction. I really enjoyed. I mean, the guy that played Mr. Crocket is off his ass good.
Yes.
And the lead girl is great.
All right, I'll say it. Everybody. Well, that's Jakar Hinton. Is that?
Yeah.
I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Probably not. Anyway, here's the thing about this. I think the actor saved Brandon's butt when it comes to there being any semblance of decency as it pertains to being a feature film. Because he wrote it, he directed, he co-wrote it, and he directed it, and I think on both levels it kind of failed. I think the actors brought their A game, and they made every scene count.
Where do you think they shot it?
Outside of Chicago.
You think?
Yeah, or Indian, some steel town.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Like somewhere around Pittsburgh.
Pennsylvania, yeah. You're probably right there.
Those houses looked very Pennsylvania steel country.
They did. Well, I guess I guarantee you, if we find out where Brandon Espy is from.
Los Angeles.
Well, that's where he says he's from.
You don't think he's from there?
No, nobody's from L.A., man.
No. God, when you meet them and they're like, I'm from L.A., it's like, what?
Yeah.
How did you grow up here?
Right.
How are you normal?
I don't really understand that.
A lot of people from like Hermosa Beach that call LA, they claim LA, and they're fun. You can always tell they're from there. They all like Sublime a lot and have a lot of tattoos, and they're like, "What's up, boss? Coming at you from the HB. Rock out, man."
Ted's not wrong. Yeah, everybody. It's really funny. Most of the people I know, not all, but most of the people I know that worked in L.A., lived in L.A., when they started having kids, they left.
Yeah, that's the big one. Everybody,
you have a kid, you got to get
I got to go to Woodland Hills.
And, well, I mean, they leave,
California.
Or they relocate far away from L.A.
Here's something I would say.
In California.
I am not one of these people in Tennessee that are like, don't you move here. I don't care. If you want to move here, I get it. It's expensive to live in California. It is true, though. I see no less than 15 to 20 California license plates every single day.
I agree. Yeah, there are. There are lots of California people moving here. I mean, we got my buddy there, Ben Seaver.
Oh, he's Mike Seaver.
Mike Seaver, sorry.
Ben Seaver was the little brother.
Yeah.
Mike Seaver. He's don't even bring him
Kirk
up.
Cameron,
He's an embarrassment to the character of Mike Seaver.
Kirk Cameron. We got Steve-O.
So, I liked Steve-O.
Well, Dax, I do too. Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell, apparently they bought a place. I don't know where it is, but it's on Old Hickory Lake somewhere.
Cool.
And, of course, Kelly Clarkson had a place here.
Right down the street from my parents.
There you go.
She got out.
Yeah, I don't know who bought that place, though. But anyway, I just want to get back into this because... What's your score?
70. As a horror, 65. 65.
I'm a 58, 5.8. I don't know how I come up with the 5 or the 8.8 part, but I just given it a high 50.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
it's
5.8.
To me, it's watchable, and I enjoyed the performances. It's worth watching for the performances and all the stuff when he's in character as the kid show host, like doing
Mr.
it.
Crocket.
So good. Every scene he's in, he's so good.
I found it hard to follow, and I thought the direction wasn't that great. And I say that from the sense of editing, right? Direction is not just actors; it's directors sitting in an editing booth, putting this thing together. And I didn't think the script was that good because it didn't explain things to you clearly on the front end. Well, this is not a spoiler.
You've already spoiled
the first.
You spoiled the movie already.
We need to have a conversation about this. But I think we should be able to talk freely about the movies, and people can, we might leave out what happens in the end, so people don't know that. But they can go and make a judgment on what we're saying themselves. Because we'll, at the end of the movie or end of the podcast, we give our opinions. I'm like this. I'm a 5.8, 58. Don't see this. Don't waste your time unless you are a horror buff. Okay, I'm going to say it right now. So, having said that, I feel that gives me the leniency, the latitude to divulge a scene or two within the movie, like this one that didn't make sense. The very beginning of the movie, a hand comes out of the VCR.
It was good. It was cool.
Okay, but then Mr. Crocket comes walking in the back door.
Because he has his magic marker.
But you don't know he's got the magic pen until halfway through the movie.
Oh, I'll do you. Hey,
so that's what I'm talking about.
There will be a sequel.
That is what I'm talking about.
I get it.
It made no sense. I'm sitting there watching a hand come out of the VCR. And by the way, it's a VCR program. It's a video. It's not on the television. You had to have a cassette in to watch it.
So here's
a hand coming out.
Here's an interesting thing about horror. You don't actually have to answer every question.
Apparently not.
I mean, horror is my favorite genre of movies is horror, but also it can be the dumbest, most logic-defying genre that has ever been. You don't have to. Yeah, you can just make sense of stuff.
Okay, I'm going to turn into Mr. Hand here from Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Okay.
These kids are on dope.
I'm sure.
And you have to be on dope to like something like this.
If you
appreciate it.
If you like...
Ted, were you stoned?
No. I did have an IPA, though, while I watched it.
Okay.
Yeah, I had an IPA while I watched it. I think it was a double. So it was a double IPA. So it's like 9% alcohol. So I was feeling good. I enjoyed it.
I watched it in the morning. I had my yogurt and a banana.
I'm going to find something crazy to watch this week.
I am smart enough not to do this, watch this kind of stuff right before bedtime.
I didn't find this scary, but I found it cool. I like the kid show aspect of it for the creep factor.
All right. Yeah. Sure.
If you liked Willy's Wonderland or you liked Five Nights at Freddy's, this is something you would like.
I'm not going to say that I liked Five Nights at Freddy, but I enjoyed it more than this.
Well, yeah, it has a huge budget.
So, again, good for you.
He'd say good for you when he makes the sequel.
Oh, I'm sure he will. But and again, I'm not ripping on him. I think I applaud anybody that gets their shot. Now, I don't think there's going to be a sequel to this. I'm not going out on that gangplank. But I will say, hey, good for you. I looked up their bios, and this is the biggest thing that he's done by far. This is Brandon.
Yeah.
Espy. This was his big break, I guess you could call it. And I don't think he squandered it. It's his thing. But here, look, this is who's the Peel and Key and Peele.
Yeah.
All right, who's the
Jordan Peele?
Jordan Peele, the horror guy.
Oh,
Yeah, he's the
that's
one
Jordan
that
Peele,
right. Okay, his first horror movie out of the gate, directing it.
it's an utter masterpiece. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen.
That was scary. That was, but it was good.
Get Out, like in the twist. Oh, well, the first time I saw it, I saw it in a movie theater in Los Angeles, and I go, whoa. When it happened, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I didn't pick up on anything.
Yeah. So that's what when you look at this film, this breakout film, horror film, and you look at Jordan Peele's breakout horror film, this is nothing compared to that.
Yeah, but
I mean, it's not. But I mean,
get it.
And it's coming from a guy who does comedy. I mean, I don't mean any disrespect. I mean, again, good for you.
guy who did comedy. Now all he does is horror movies.
That's all I can. I mean, I'm happy for him, but it did look like and feel like an out of the box production. Now, I know I've been really critical, and I want to say this just for the clear the air. Everybody knows it. From a directing standpoint, I couldn't do it. I'll admit it. I would be him as he is to Jordan Peele. Okay? They look at his stuff, they go, okay, that was good. Then they look at my stuff and they always say, that's crap. Okay? So here's the order. Andrew, crap. Brandon Espy, that's good. Jordan Peele, that's really
That's
good.
the gold standard.
That's really good. So there's the order. So I know I'm being harsh, but it just didn't work.
Okay.
All right. Again, the movie is Mr. Crocket. It's on HBO. Runtime's about 83
It's on
minutes. Hulu. I'm sorry. Yeah, Hulu.
Huluween.
Original.
Huluween.
And Huluween. And it's Mr. Crocket. The acting in this is really, really good. So if you're an acting student and you want to learn how to act for or pick up some pointers on acting for horror, watch it, because these people will show you what to do. Other than that, you're watching at your own expense.
Disagree. You should watch it if you like the movies I referenced earlier. Or you just were looking for something stupid to watch, put it on the background. It's definitely worth that. You're ripping on it like let's put it this way. I've seen 2 J-Lo movies that are way worse than this that had a lot bigger budgets.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
The J-Lo music video that dumped her marriage to Ben Affleck is way worse than
All
this.
right, maybe you're right.
And if you want to say that wedding movie that Josh Duhamel, whatever his name is, carrying her across the finish line on his shoulders. Just get on, J-Lo. I'll carry us.
Anyway, hey, everybody. You good?
Yeah.
All right. Everybody, thanks again for listening to another episode of Streaming Without a Paddle. I'm Andrew, and I'm not scared.
I'm Ted, and a friend like me.